and good evening, and welcome to, that's right, the Overreaction Monday Brown Show. No, this is not a Victory Monday. It is Overreaction Monday, and oh boy, us Browns fans, we are overreacting big time. Yes, indeed. The Browns faltered. They flubbed up. They screwed up. They were desperate out there at the Mile High Stadium playing the Denver Broncos. All sorts of things fell apart for our Brownies, and it is one of those overreaction Mondays that we just got to get through, Browns fans. I'm John, and I'm part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of Fans First Sports Network, and we love having all of you here tuning in to our Fanatical Elves Network. We can't do this without you. We need you to follow along here on YouTube, follow along on the X, download our shows on Apple, on Spotify, and support our new affiliate with the Fans First Sports Network. We've been around since the start of April, and we are gaining popularity, and your support is a big reason for that. Our downloads continue to rise. We're 30 to 40% higher every month over this season, and we just love it. So thank you so much. So I'm recording tonight here. Back behind me, you'll see an assortment of changed it up on you a little bit here, Browns fans. If you tune in and watch our shows, from the Johnny Cleveland podcast to the Fanatical Elves show on Thursday nights, reversed the camera here, so we've got my brown stuff over there. Got good old Bernie Kosar back there. Yeah, Bernie and I, you know what we share? Yeah, we share a birthday. We both had a birthday this past, what day was that? The 25th. And happy birthday to Bernie. You know, if Bernie's listening to our podcast, I'd love to chat with Bernie, give him a shout out birthday. He was an idol of mine, an idol of many of ours. And so we have him in the background there. Also, our Cleveland crew there, the Brownie with the Ohio. It was a tough week, right, for Ohioans? Yeah, we lost, didn't we? The Buckeyes lost to that damn team up north. If you're a Bungles fan, your Bungles lost to the Pittsburgh Squealers. I mean, it's just, yeah, tough going there. No, I do have the championship. What is over there? I can't point, but it's behind me. We've got the LeBron James bringing home the championship back in 2016. Yeah, and then a bit behind my corner here, yeah, you see that Buffalo right there. You see that Buffalo number 21? Yep, that's for my daughter, Mariah, Mo Money. She played at the University at Buffalo back in the day, graduated back in 2018. That 2018 team, when she was a senior, made it all the way to the Sweet 16. And she was here visiting over the Thanksgiving holiday along with her friend Matt, who we've been part of the podcasts on the Johnny Cleveland shows before. So want to give a shout out to her. Also got a little bit of our, what did we got over here? No, there. Got the Browns backers president football that we got back in 2016, 2017, when I was the president of the Browns backers there in Wichita, Kansas. Yeah, the Oz chapter. Love those guys out there. If you ever traveling through Wichita, don't know how many of you are going to be traveling through the great state of Kansas anytime soon, but if you are traveling through there on a Sunday during the football season, I would highly recommend you just stop over and follow these guys, the Oz chapter, and watch a game with them. It is a time that you will never get back, and you will enjoy it immensely. So yeah, it is Overreaction Monday. It is a late Overreaction Monday show. It's about 9:45, 10 o'clock Eastern. And, you've had a day to sort of take in everything. I always like listening to Steve Gill on the Dog Pound South podcast. His show came on earlier today. And Steve is the voice of reason and calmness, while I, John, am very overreactive. That's part of my gig. Steve is the more disciplined contributor here on the Fanatical Elves Network. I would encourage you to listen to his show. But he did start off his show by saying, what a dud. What a dud. And also, he brought up a couple things that I think all Browns fans can agree on, that the Denver Broncos are a very dirty team. Sean Payton is a very dirty coach. That's why he got kicked out of the NFL for a whole year. His players are celebrating nasty and brutal hits. I've had this conversation with other people today about, well, that hit on DTR was fair. It was a solid hit. No, it wasn't. The guy launched. Go back and watch the replay. Go watch it 1,000 times. He launched at DTR. He launched, meaning he took off the ground into the air and rammed him. I don't care if it was his damn shoulder. He ran into DTR's helmet. And what did DTR have? Oh, that's right. A bloodied up everything on his face. Yeah, I'm glad at least the referees in that moment of time threw the flag. Now, I don't know what else the hell they were doing during that game, but they sure as hell weren't helping the Browns out. Just some crazy calls throughout the game. It's difficult enough. You got to beat the Denver Broncos. Then you got to beat, all these other factors. It's including the damn announcers, right? I mean, how many of you Browns fans have to turn the damn sound off every freaking week because you get these lousy announcers on the TV shows that don't know squat about football, and they just spew all their love affair for yesterday was the Denver Broncos. They couldn't say anything wrong about the Denver Broncos consistently. Just time after time after time. Mark Sanchez is a moron when it comes to sharing his thoughts on TV broadcasting. How that guy got a job in TV is just, and was a horrible quarterback himself. My God, right? Ugh. So what do? We turn the sound down and you try to get the radio broadcast to come on. And then there's that 10, 15 second lag. So you might be hearing the play on the radio first and then see it second on the TV. So it's a little frustrating if you're a Browns fan trying to watch an away game. Home games, I'm there. I got season tickets. We're watching it live, but man, it sucks when you have to listen to these morons who are on the TV announcing crews. Again, part of the overreaction Monday. We are overreacting, overreacting. That's true. We're also acting. Part of our title here, if you are watching us on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever you follow us, is it says desperation coaching approach never a good idea. And I use the word desperation because our young contributor Sam down there in Texas brought that word up a couple times in our post-game show as we described Kevin Stefanski. Now, I've been for Kevin, I've been against Kevin, I've been for Kevin. I think a lot of us can say we've done the same thing. And the idea that where we are with Kevin Stefanski, we've built him up. We've had this season where it seemed like that he was making some good calls. And then he threw everybody off again with just a huge mistake late in that game when the Browns were still right in the thick of the game. It was right after the DTR dirty hit by the dirty Denver Broncos. They have to bring PJ Walker in. Okay, now listen, everybody's messing with PJ Walker, but the kid can play. He won 2 games for the Browns earlier this season. So let's give PJ Walker some credit, earned credit. Anyway, what does Kevin Stefanski do? Oh, he doesn't give PJ Walker any kind of respect, but he calls for a double reverse on a 2nd and 7, I believe, in that game at the early stages of the 4th quarter. Lord have mercy. That double reverse has not worked all season long, right? Has it worked? Tell me when it's worked. I think we might have gotten positive yardage maybe 3 times this season. Every game we see that play. And in this case, it was not executed correctly. I get it, all you Kevin Stefanski love affair people, that if the players just executed the damn play, then we wouldn't be talking about this play. And Kevin Stefanski's the greatest coach of all time. And then, well, let's just stick to this point. We're going to talk about those idiots out there who are always constantly supporting Kevin and think that we're a bunch of morons because we want to question in these big moments what Kevin is actually doing. It was a stupid play. Just boneheaded. We all know that. What was the outcome of the play? Oh, that's right. We fumbled the ball. They get the ball back. Okay. Well, did Kevin have to run that play in that moment? Why? Why the hell did he run that play in that moment? There's been a lot of chit-chat about how when the Browns were running the ball against one of the weakest teams defensively against the run all season long, how Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt were plowing through the Denver Broncos, shredding them with their runs. 5-6 yards. And yet he goes to a double reverse to a player in Pierre Strong who hadn't really, I think he might have been in one play prior to that moment. And we're going to come right back to the whole execution. The first part, though, before you get into the whole freaking execution argument, is it was a wrong call at the wrong time. It's 2nd and 7. You're at near midfield. You're trailing 17-12. That's why we're using the word desperation. Our young colleague again, Sam, brings this up brilliantly. It's desperation coaching on the part of Kevin Stefanski. And Elliot, Village Elliot, who does his own show of the Oracle Speaks and the Browniacs, also made a very good point that we've talked about here on the Fanatical L's Network multiple times, and people don't want to talk about it. But it's this whole issue of battling against one another within the team. That Kevin doesn't like the fact that someone like Jim Schwartz, as the new defensive coordinator, is getting a lot of attention. Could Kevin sometimes think that he has to outduel his defense and the highlights that they're getting and the praise they're getting, so that Kevin needs to feel that he needs to come up with these razzle-dazzle trick themselves plays? I mean, that's kind of what we're seeing. So let's get into this final point before we let everybody go. Before we do, let me take a quick break. This is the Fanatical L's Network, and this is Overreaction Monday. Did you like those commercials? Yeah, I bet you did. So here's the thing on Overreaction Monday. We're talking about that damn play where the razzle-dazzle Kevin Stefanski, Steady Eddie, decided to have his team do a double reverse on a 2nd and 7 at midfield that blew up in their faces. The ball was fumbled, and from that point forward, it was a disaster. The Browns actually lost 29-12, never got back in the game. They had been right there, maybe could have mounted a comeback. They were within a touchdown. But the Kevin is playing the game like, again, he's trailing by 4 touchdowns. When in all these games, he's trailing by no more than 10 points, 14 points. And he goes to the run game early in the game, goes with it, leaves it, goes with it. And in this moment, it's just stupidity on his part. Now, let's talk about this idea that a lot of these boneheaded writers and people out there that you guys follow on the X and on Twitter and all this stuff, hopefully not us, but all these other folks, these other folks like to throw it back in your faces when you start criticizing Kevin Stefanski, good old Steady Eddie. What do they always say? And we already mentioned it already tonight. Execution. If the players just executed the play, then it's Kevin Stefanski is the most brilliant coach of all time. He should get Coach of the Year every year because he just calls up the greatest plays in a game every week in and week out. Look, Kevin Stefanski, I'm giving his due, giving him credit. He's not a bad play caller. He's a good play caller, okay? He's a good play caller. But there are too many moments where he decides he's going to take a good moment and then he gets desperate and he starts throwing these damn razzle-dazzle, stupid trick plays that are tricking himself and they're tricking his own players, and it's confusing. These players are like, they're not executing the plays because they're not good enough to do that and execute them. Kevin needs to recognize that, and Kevin needs to just hand the ball off to his backs and let his offensive line work their magic and do their thing and create opportunities for his running backs and his team. These critics also, who are criticizing us and you who are because we are criticizing Kevin Stefanski, they always come back and say, oh, like tonight, there was one of them said, well, we all deserve Freddie Kitchens. What the hell does that mean? Because what that means is, you know what it means. These morons who get out there, they throw crap back at you on social media because they think they're more brilliant and better than you. They aren't better than you. You know that as a Browns fan. There isn't a Browns fan. You're a Browns fan. There isn't another Browns fan that's better than you. You know, you want to collectively work together here. These Browns nuts who write crap and get on social media constantly and try to give all their coaching moves and all these things that we watch on videos back and forth and see, you know, what Kevin's doing right, what the players are doing right and wrong. I mean, come on. They can keep doing their thing, and yeah, we can learn a thing or two from them. But the idea is that some of these guys come back at you and they criticize you when your coach screwed up. Our coach, Kevin Stefanski, screwed up. We know it as fans. It was a terrible decision on that double reverse. Now, there were a lot of other plays, and that one play did not define what happened in that game. It was a huge mistake, but there were other opportunities, like the fact that the Browns gave up 14 points to start the game, and their defense flubbed up that part of the game. But in that moment, yes, Kevin Stefanski screwed up, and it's not because his damn players didn't execute the damn play. It's because Kevin Stefanski, like our young contributor said, then maybe you shouldn't call that damn play, right? You shouldn't be calling that play. Yeah. Anyway, all right, folks. There you are. That's the Overreaction Monday. We are overreacting, but some of it is pretty damn true, isn't it? Yep. All right, folks. Take care. We had a lot of shows coming up here on the Fanatical L's Network. We had tune in back to we had Steve Gill, who just did the Dog Pound South show. Very much more not overreactive like I am here tonight. We've got the What the Elf Was That show coming up with Joel K, the left guard. We've got the Browniacs coming up with Joel and Elliot. We've got the Village Elliot shows on the Oracle Speaks. We've got the young man Sam down there in Texas bringing it with the Browns breakdowns. We've got the Browns Blitz coming with Rod Bloom. So tune in to all of that. We look forward to bringing you the best content and the best news about the Browns and our opinions, of course, like you heard tonight. Again, take care, everybody. Have a great night. Go Browns. We'll talk more about the Browns playing the Los Angeles Rams later this week. So tune in for all of that. Take care.